let's look at something super important before the update arrives, guys. And that's the topic of the lab cards. Because now, okay, we can put the lab cards in here and it increases our reputation, okay? But these cards in exchange for reputation, okay? Maybe someone isn't that interested in these rewards, especially if someone has cards saved up, okay? We're talking about those who have cards saved up now, or in case someone wants to earn them before the event arrives. Basically, I'm telling you that it's going to depend a lot on your goals. But in most cases, I think it's going to be profitable to redeem the cards before the update arrives. Why? Well, for several reasons, okay? The first one is because you're going to have forever and ever to enjoy this new system, okay? I mean, from now on, any other cards you earn in your life or until they change the system again, okay? You'll have to spend them here. You won't have any other choice. So you'll have your whole life to do this. But you'll only have a few days or so until the update comes out to redeem all these cards. And the rewards these cards give, okay? They're just too good, all right? These are some of the best chests you can get in the lab. To start with, okay? The first advantage we get from redeeming the cards now. It's really easy to get Genesis weapons, all right? Genesis weapons are going to be needed a ton in the swamp in the new marsh, all right? It won't be as easy to get the weapons anymore. They will be craftable though. Before I couldn't craft them, but with my alpha account I can. But of course, Genesis weapons are cheap to craft. Well look, titanium, protective fabric, springs, alright? And this antimony that you have to go to the swamp to get. Ash planks that you'll need a chainsaw to get, alright? Lenses, lead, and lead is also going to be really hard to get. Alright, so. Also, we need to unlock weapons, which requires gunpowder and more lead. None of this is going to be easy, alright? It's not going to be easy to get it. It's true that Genesis weapons can be obtained. They usually give you one in the season pass, alright? Usually, if they haven't removed them, alright? They usually give you one. I don't know, look, here's a protector. They usually give you one. I don't know if in the new pass, alright? They'll keep giving them. This is already the alpha pass, alright? And here, in theory, if they haven't changed anything, there should be at least one or two. Look, the shotguns from level 67 are still there. But there aren't many ways. It's true that you can get Genesis weapons at the transport center in events. You can also buy them in some events, alright? But there aren't a ton of ways to get Genesis weapons. And this was one of the best. Alright? This was one of the best ways to get Genesis weapons. So, first reason. Genesis weapons, not just because this is the best way to get Genesis weapons, but also, everything in the swamp has to be killed with Genesis weapons. It's not mandatory, but the Genesis weapon deals full damage, and any other weapon you use will only deal a third of the damage. Because your weapon won't bypass the armor, okay? So that's the first reason to redeem these cards, alright? Alright, that's going to be it, okay? This is the number one reason. Genesis weapons. Now, what other reasons are there to redeem these cards, okay? Honestly, just this one seems more than enough to me. Just with the Genesis weapons, it already seems more than enough. Other resources like clothing and inhalers are available in more places. Mind you, inhalers, they can be crafted, but they're now much more useful than before. Even for the lab itself, okay? Also, but as we move forward, let's see. Aside from seeing all this, mines, grenades, all this SWAT gear, the generic weapons we've been talking about, defibrillators, filters, a bunch of good rewards, okay? That a lot of people will find useful. For me, for example, the filters aren't, but for a lot of people they are. The mines and grenades are useful for everyone. The dog tags, okay? All these kinds of things. But we get to the last two chests, and these are the truly important ones. I'll redeem them all, since they'll all be useful for me. Now we reach the key point. One of the most important things are these pieces, these RBQ pieces, okay? The RBQ clothing, in fact, can be obtained from the Genesis chest at the transport center. Look, I opened this chest at the transport center and it gives us both outfits. The RBQ outfit and the RBQ outfit. And on top of that, a few more Genesis items, okay? Here it gives us 2 or 3. It's not bad. It's not super complicated. But you have to keep a few things in mind. Building this transport center, the big one, is expensive, and you don't always get the Genesis chest, okay? This Genesis chest, to get it, you have to repair the last cart. We already know it's expensive. It takes time, a lot of materials, okay? Whoever already has it unlocked will have it relatively easy. But RBQ gear is now more valuable because it's true that it will be possible to craft it. You can still get it here. But the convenience we had in the lab, the convenience we had here, okay? Well, we don't have that anymore. And this RBQ gear are going to be really useful for the new swamp, okay? For the new swamp area, the new swamp. RBQ gear is going to be really useful. You already know that you're all going to need full gear to go to the boss, okay? And then maybe some pieces from the RBQ combined with others from RBQ or with regular clothes to go to the farming areas, okay? You already know that each area requires a certain amount of radiation protection. So these clothes are going to be useful. But the RBQ clothes as well, okay? So keep the RBQ clothes, okay? Because the RBQ clothes are also useful. In fact, if I remember correctly, these chests that gave me tactical gear and SWAT gear can also give you RBQ clothes. They didn't give it to me this time, but they can also give it to you. So that's another reason to redeem the cards now and not wait for the update. The ones you have time for, okay? If you have time to exchange 1, 2, or 3 rounds, all of that is a gain. But that's not all, okay? This would be the last one. You already know that these chests, the last 2 chests, contain a mix of regular weapons, conventional weapons, and Genesis weapons. But from these chests, you can get AKs, grenade launchers, Ventores. Very advanced weapons, okay? So that's another reason. In the last chest, I mentioned the grenade launcher and immediately get it. We have the grenade launcher, M16-3 Genesis weapons, the Kevlar outfit, which you've already seen you can still get in this shop. But of course, if you buy the Kevlar outfit in the shop, you can't buy something else, okay? Besides, out of all the top items, the Kevlar outfit is the most unnecessary, okay? Out of all the top items, it's the most unnecessary, because the Kevlar outfit isn't needed at all. Yes, it gives you an advantage, sure, but it's not needed at all. It's an item, it's an outfit that you really don't need. So, that's cool. If someone wants to save it for better or more important challenges in the game, I think that's cool. But the Kevlar outfit, besides being available in this event, can also be obtained at the transport center, okay? You'll still be able to get it in the game, okay? Overall, I don't think it's a great reason to redeem it. But I do think all the other reasons are important, okay? Mainly the Genesis weapons, I think that's the main reason overall, okay? Mainly, the whole thing about the clothes. In general, the clothes in the RBQ. Important, the NBQ, which they can give here as well, okay? I also think that's super important. But the rest of the stuff matters too. The important weapons, like the AKs, the heavy hitters, like grenade launchers, and M16s. A lot of things that come in handy. Carbon compounds, factory parts, and so on and so on. Springs. The gunpowder that's going to be needed now in the update, okay? This gunpowder too. I mean, you always have to keep everything. Okay? The ammo for the resonators. A bunch of tokens. If you open all the chests, you get 400 tokens. I understand that tokens are easier to get now, but they're still very valuable, okay? So there are a lot of reasons to exchange them, and pretty much none to keep them. The only reason I can see to keep the cards and not exchange them is if someone says, look, El Chicha, I have plenty of everything, I have it all. That would be a rare case, because if you have plenty of everything, it's strange that you're just missing the warehouse and the clothes. If you have plenty of everything, normally you would have reached level 50 years ago. But it could happen. Someone who already has everything, has more than enough of everything. They might say, look, what I want is to get this as soon as possible, so I'll keep the cards. When the update arrives, I just add a bunch of cards, quickly reach max level, claim everything, and that's it. But you'll still have time to get it. So, I see very few reasons, or practically none, to save the cards. Although for those of us who have a lot of cards, like me, I probably won't have time to redeem them all, and I'll end up saving some. But of course, all the ones I can redeem before the update comes, I won't hesitate. And I plan to redeem them, because all of this is not only valuable in itself, but during the upcoming Swamp update, the Genesis weapons and the clothes in the RBQ, etc. are going to be super valuable. And we can't just leave that there.